we haven't had our wings all that long, but it's also been long enough without a consistent source of gunpowder and paper. Because not only do I only have 2 rockets to my name, but in our chests I have 0 gunpowder and not a lot of sugarcane or paper. That's why today I want to make a gunpowder and sugarcane farm, and I want to build it all up inside the castle I've always wanted to build. Now, I've never built a castle before, but I know that I want it to be cute, cozy, and of course, since we are in a flower forest, it's gotta have flowers everywhere. Backing out into freecam, as far as where I'm thinking I want this little gunpowder sugarcane farm castle to go, this mountaintop just seems like the perfect place for a castle in our flower forest. So that does mean we have a lot of clearing and terraforming, and I see the pillagers. We gotta remove those guys. But I'm thinking that we'll probably scrape off a few layers so that this ground can be completely even, which means we get to use our beautiful beacon yet again to make this whole process go a little bit quicker. But if you remember how I recently fought the Wither and a glitch in the game made me lose all of my gear that I just had acquired, this now means that the tools that I have don't have mending on them because I lost those ones. So before we get started, we are going to upgrade our tools, and not only are we going to add mending, but I was thinking we did cure this villager down here, and I'm thinking since I don't have a villager assigned to efficiency 4, it could be nice to make this guy our little efficiency 4 friend. But before we can do any of that, I need to go to the Skelly XP farm, get a bunch of levels, get all the books, and put all the books that I can on our tools, and also grab a lectern for our friend here. So we're going to do a little pre-resource collecting montage.
Huh? Huh?
Oh, we finally got it! Efficiency 5! That's even better than what I've had on my other tools. Let's go. Thank you, buddy. That did take us a bit, but we got it. So I can be happy about that, but we were definitely low on emeralds, so next we go and get a bunch of emeralds and XP levels and get the rest of the enchants on our tools all over again. So I just noticed that I do not have my pickaxe in my inventory anymore, and I think in the midst of me clearing my inventory of all these other random things and just putting them on the ground like this, I think I accidentally threw away my pickaxe, and I think it despawned and it was efficiency 5. So that is a big bummer, but I mean, what do you do, right? Now we just have to still get ourselves a pickaxe again. All right, we got ourselves an efficiency 4 pickaxe again, and I'm not chucking this one on the ground by accident. We've got mending and efficiency 4. We've got efficiency 4. We put mending on all of our tools as well as all of our armor, and we finally have enchanted armor once again, which feels really good. So now we're just gonna head back home, and we're going to start clearing out space to build our floral castle. And one time lapse later, we have a giant space cleared out on top of this mountain. This actually looks so crazy that this is what it looks like now compared to the before. But this is gonna be such a perfect spot to build a castle. And I think I want to add some like gardens, flowers, some walking paths around up here. Even on the map, it just looks like it's ready to be transformed into some really cool landscape builds. Definitely gonna add some giant flowers up here. Now, the next thing I wanna do is show you guys the color palette we're going for. We are going to be using this pink terracotta. I also am going to be using some of the copper, and we're going to be using cherry and the honeycomb blocks. I also want to use a bunch of the white concrete. So we're going to have white concrete mixed in with the pink terracotta. We're going to use some stripped oak for part of the interior as well. But we're going to kind of just take this color palette and make our castle just have all of these same color combinations just on a larger scale. Which means, unfortunately, we have a larger resource collecting checklist to complete in order to get all the resources to make a giant castle. But luckily, I at least have a shulker box that's already made, and I think we also have some other shulker boxes from when we were in the end before. So let's just make ourselves a bunch of shulker boxes to make everything a little bit easier here. And inside our little too tall flower farm, we can get our light blue dye and then have our other light blue shulker box. Now, the two resources I'm going to need the most of is white concrete and pink terracotta, because for this build, the main square, if I go into freecam, the main square of the build is going to have white concrete walls, and then I do want to have little pillars on all four corners, and those are going to be made out of pink terracotta. So those are the two resources we are going to need to collect the most of, and those are the ones probably, honestly, going to be using up the majority of the shulker box space. But I'm going to clear the rest of my inventory, and we are going to grab the resources that we do have from down here in our little storage room, and then we're just gonna go around and collect up all the resources that we need. So I already know that I have some terracotta in here, which is great. We already have a bit of white concrete, but we've got a bunch of sand and gravel, which is also good. So we're grabbing all of that, all of the white concrete, and then we're going to need a lot of pink dye, and I'm gonna get a bunch of peonies for pink dye for the pink concrete. And we'll convert all of that into pink dye. We'll convert all of these bones into bone meal, then white dye, and we'll just convert a bunch of the concrete powder into white concrete. And since we're starting to collect resources for our castle build, that means this is going to be a building montage, so I hope you enjoy. All right, the walls are up and it's looking really good so far. We've got the concrete up, we've got our pillars, and we've got our entrance set up. And inside the castle, besides the floor being our oak planks, the separators for the rooms are going to be stripped oak. And then we are going to have a section where we're going to have a sugarcane farm module on this side, a sugarcane farm module on this side, and honestly, probably I'm just gonna dig down below all of this to put the creeper farm, and then we have to go up into the sky to make the actual platform. That's our little AFK box, but I thought that it would be kind of cool if instead of just a simple platform, that eventually around our castle, we will have little bees built up, some organics, some butterflies. So maybe instead of just a box in the sky, we make the AFK box for the gunpowder farm be a little butterfly or something. But for now, we are going to go and grab some copper because I want to put copper around the tops of these towers, and I want these to kind of just be little castle tower bits. So it's gonna be a full block and a half block, a full block, a half block. And so we're just gonna go back down into our trial chamber and collect up a bunch of copper. All right, as we're starting to slowly collect up some of the redstone supplies to make both our sugarcane farm and our gunpowder farm, I need my fishing rod because we need some raw salmon to tame some kitty cats. I do have one over here, let me just avoid all those pillagers, that I was able to find on a stream, and it's this little guy right here. Oh, I only needed one salmon. Okay, that works out well. So I just need one more cat based on that. So we're either just going to hopefully just look around here and see a cat, or we will have to, unfortunately, go traveling to find a cat. But I'm hoping that because there's villagers, maybe we won't need to look for one. I have a very strong impression that I will need to go out looking for a cat. So we'll probably just spend some time doing some fishing. And actually, I don't know why I didn't just do it this way. This is so much faster than what I was doing. So we're just going to slice a bunch of these guys and get the kitties some fish this way. Okay, I'm looking for a kitty cat. So let's find ourselves, aha. Oh, we get up the same. Come, oh, I don't want to hit the iron golem because they will kill me. Come here, come here. There we go. So if I just, yay. All right, kitty cats, come with me. We are going this way back to the flower forest. Ooh, I haven't found the firefly bushes yet. Oh, I need a bunch of you because you'll make it so pretty in this new area. I love having the pitcher plant organic there because as the render distance starts to focus in, it totally looks like a giant flower forest island already, and I love this so much. I think another thing I want to do is the beacon. I eventually think I'll probably move it inside the castle and we'll just have it coming up through the floor. I think that will look really good. So we'll figure out where to put that, but I think having it be pink will definitely be the vibe for the Flower Forest Island. But even just looking back in freecam, like look how pretty this is already looking. The castle is actually, we're making good progress on it. It's looking good. I'm very happy with it. And cat number 2, there we go. We got little twin cats, and we'll definitely need to give them some floral names to fit the vibes of the flower forest. But let's grab the rest of the items that we'll need to make the gunpowder farm and get our 2 in their new proper little place. Yep, Okay, I thought I was gonna be all cool, being able to just, you know, start at the top of the ladder, work my way down, but clearly not, and it is clearly night, so, okay, yep, it's fine. The woods are growling, I'm fine, everything's fine. I just can't believe I freaking just forgot I was wearing the elytra. I could have just, oh, yep, okay, it's fine. I just don't get my levels back anymore. All right, next we're setting up the sugarcane farm, and I'm using mud since it's a little bit lower than the regular dirt. So we're just going to set up 2 sides to this sugarcane farm on this side, and then we'll also do 2 sides on the other side. So we technically will have 4 farms because we'll have pistons on this side for this row of sugarcane and the same over here, and we'll just replicate it on the other side. So let's just get building a sugarcane farm. All right, we have gotten both sides of the sugarcane farm done, and we have the gunpowder farm complete as well. So I just have these little trapdoors kind of hiding where we can pick up all of the sugarcane, just so that I don't accidentally just like fall into the hole here. But this is what we got. So we're just gonna let these guys run. Oh, there you go. There is perfect timing to actually see it in action. But we've got the actual farms completed. So now all we have left to do is the fun part, which is decorating this place. Obviously, we need a roof on this place. And I'm thinking that on top of these towers, like I said earlier, we'll have some copper bits on top the roof. I do think it would be cool to have like a larger like dome or like a second tier to things. And since we do have that little villager, I think we might move the villagers in here as well. So without further ado, let's get decorating. All right, I'm really liking how the interior of this is looking so far, but I think the next thing that I want to do is put a roof on this place just so that it's a little bit safer from, you know, phantoms and rain and all of the things, all of the weather, all of the mobs. So I'm going to work on getting a roof on this place, and if I go out into freecam, once the roof is on this place, we'll then start working on getting the second tier built up, our little second part of the castle, which I considered maybe having our librarian villagers be in one of these little spots right here, but it could also be cool to have them kind of living above, and then these could kind of be little like windy staircases, and then we can have 4 points of entry to get up to our second level. I think that could also look cool, so we're just gonna put a roof on this place, get some walls up, and keep on decorating this place. But I do have to say, as far as our first castle build ever to our flower forest village, this is looking so cute. Another fun little hack related to the firefly bushes is they just need it to be pitch black. So if you put a firefly bush underground and place a block of dirt over it, you can get the particles during the day. So we're just going to place down some little bits of firefly bushes around here to give us some particles. But if you're ever looking for some cute ways to make your area feel more magical, hiding some firefly bushes is a great way to go about that. Now, as for the color of the roof, we are going to go with either our white concrete or we are going to go with some oak logs that are stripped. So that is kind of the thing that I have to figure out, but because we already have the floors being oak, it could be a really nice transition. Because if we have these walls being white and the ceiling being white, it could look like a little bit too much, but since these are oak planks and not the stripped oak, I think it will give us enough of a difference. So let's quickly just go onto the roof and see what we think if I just do a little test run here of just placing some of these down. And this is what our roof would look like. And I think because these two are right next to each other, this doesn't look as good as I thought. But what if instead we make these a different color for an accent wall? Like maybe we pull in some of the cherry wood. So let's try that. All right, I removed the wax copper stairs and slabs because I feel like oak is going to look better being here instead, but I think that was a good change up because having these two be the same next to each other was a little much. But then let's just take some oak stairs and slabs. I really enjoy doing things like this because it's just fun to try things out, figure out what we think will look good. Now, what we could do here is just have some trapdoors, and then we could maybe put some pots on top of here, and then we could have all the different flowers be on the walls. I honestly think that would be so cute. So let's try that. Let's get a bunch of these trapdoors, a bunch of little pots, and we'll just grab some flowers and see what we think of that setup. There we go. Yeah, I think having these walls just be filled with flowers is actually gonna look super cute. Let's just grab some more. And before I forget, we're also just gonna quickly remove this wall and replace this with cherry so that our walls can match. All right, we've got the second tier already done, and I think this looks really cool. Now, up here is where we're going to build a gazebo, and this is the final piece to complete the castle. Now, if I go out into freecam, we do still have to do some decorating. The walls on the sides are very plain. We're also gonna add some custom trees in front here, and we'll add in some more windows, and I think the windows that I wanna add to the second level are going to be these more floral looking ones, and I think they'll look really cute with some different colored glass. But I want to get this gazebo built up because that will be the final actual structure to call the castle completed, and that is just the little details. As for a color palette, what we're gonna be using is a combination of the stripped pale oak wood, some calcite, and some diorite. And I do plan to use some diorite walls, and we're going to start with the pillars being made from the pale oak. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna figure out the corners to this, and then we are going to build some pillars upright, and then hopefully we will have a really good base structure for our gazebo. And then as far as the roof of the gazebo, we're gonna be using a lot of the pink terracotta and the cherry wood because since this is the flower forest, I figured it would be kind of cool if I can attempt to make the roof of the gazebo kind of look like a flower. But enough yapping, let's start building this thing up. All right, we finally have our gazebo roof completed, roof trim, and even a little bit of the interior. I added a ton of the cherry leaves because if I go into freecam, you can already see the petals falling and it looks so pretty. And if I back up into freecam, this is what it looks like and I think this is so pretty. It looks like these are just petals kind of tipping upwards and I think this is so pretty. I'm really happy with how it turned out for a first time castle build. Now, of course, this middle area seems very empty and there definitely needs to be something up here. So I was thinking that maybe we try our hand at a custom cherry tree because then we'll have more of these cherry petals falling and I think it could look really pretty. And I've never tried to do custom trees, so I think that's the next thing that we are going to work on. Another thing I still want to do is add some custom trees on the sides here and add in some flower windows on the sides and the back just to make it look a little bit more textured because this does look pretty boxy and plain right now. So those are the things that we are going to work on next. Okay, so we're gonna set up our little crafting table station again, and then we are going to convert these nether bricks into some walls really quick. And let's get building a custom tree to go underneath our new gazebo. Now, another thing I thought could be kind of cool is if I was able to take all of this yellow concrete and pink concrete powder and convert it into solid concrete and make some tulips in these corner towers here. And then I think what would be really fun is part of my idea for the twisty windy staircases, not for this one for now, just because this is the main way to get down to the gunpowder farm, but for the other three, I'm thinking that we will use this center block to actually be the stem for the tulips that we build up here on the second level. So if I just pillar up like so, then we will actually have a cute little tulip flower that we can have, and then we'll just have giant tulips, and you can see that this will be the windy staircase, and I think this is gonna look really cool. This one's a little bit too tall, but you get the idea. So we're just gonna add some yellow tulips and some pink tulips into these corner towers, and then move on to some more decorating. Now, one thing that I think would be really cute is if we had a little bench in between these trees I just finished. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to go about this. I think we'll just use all of our chains up. But the issue is I don't like how it hangs like this. So I have to figure out how to fix that. Maybe if we use some cherry stairs. I think I have enough space to try stairs. So let's try this. Yeah, it still doesn't connect. All right, we'll have to mess around with this. Okay, we'll try to just make it look like it's attached like that, and it's a two-person seat. One can sit there, one can sit there. And then let's add in some trapdoors to be right where we're sitting. I think that will be cute. And I think we'll just go along the whole length of it and see how that looks. Let me just remove these. And then step back. Oh, that's cute. Wait, yeah, I like this. It's a nice little chair for sitting. I might actually remove the trapdoors behind the chains just because it kind of makes it look like the chain is in the way of the place you're supposed to sit. So this looks more accurate, I think. Or what if we go like this and have trapdoors on the side? Yeah, I don't like the look of that either. I think we'll just leave it as such, and I think this is really cute. I have never actually done custom trees like this, so this is actually my first attempt at these sizes of kind of like oak azalea, and I think they turned out pretty good. I do like how they're different sizes because each tree is going to be unique and different, so I think this really fits well. But now we've got a cute little seat to sit and watch the sunset, which I think is really adorable. Look at this. Look at us just enjoying some sunset. I love that. The next thing that I want to work on is getting our winding staircase all set up. I think this is gonna be such a fun way to get up to our second level, so I'm actually really excited to see how this works out, how we're gonna set it up. So let's just get all the way up here, and there we go. We've got a way into the second level, and we'll do the same thing on all of the corners too. And we spent the next bit of time getting the rest of the spiral staircases all set up leading to the second floor. With our staircases completed, we moved on to doing some final decorating, and then we called it complete. All right, and with 2 more custom trees on this side, we have a completed castle with gazebo on top, and I think this is a pretty cool combination. If we fly a bit further away from the build, this is what we got, and if I pause the screen, now we can see exactly what it all looks like, and I think this is such a fun build, and I'm really proud of how this castle turned out. We're obviously going to be adding some things on the side, but for the build of today, being the castle, this is everything that I wanted to accomplish. And the best part of all is we have a working sugarcane farm, and we also have a working gunpowder farm. So we finally have a good source of rockets, and I think the interior of this place looks really cool so far. As for the second level, it's still empty, but that will be a future red problem, and maybe you can comment below what we should add into this second level for decorations, for villagers, or just for an interior. So let me know in the comments below what you think we should have in this room here. As for our gazebo on the top, I did add a few little bushes right here, but I think that it could be kind of fun to add some other bits of decoration in this area too. Maybe some benches and seating, maybe some little fountains. I'm not really sure, but there's definitely some more potential that we could add up here too. So if you have any ideas for up here, let me know in the comments below as well. As for our little sniffer friend, you guys had left some names in the comments, and the name that I'm going to use is Sage Pollen Puff the First, because a few of you, I saw the word Sage and I really liked the name Pollen Puff, so I just decided to combine them. And I'm not exactly sure if there will be a Sage Pollen Puff the Second, but it just sounded like a very fun name. But as far as what I wanted to get done today on the castle, I'd say we accomplished that. So thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with me as we work on building up this castle today. I love how this is turning out, and obviously we're going to continue to decorate the interior and the exterior. But let me know some cat names for our 2 creeper cats in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.